Great work rising to a tough challenge from your rival. You've come out on top for the time being, and there's a real positive buzz coming out of that. Let's see more of this.
Hey, Emma is actually being nice for a change. Let's soak this in because this will probably never happen again. Welcome guys to another episode of F1 2019 Career Mode. This is part number 34 for the Belgian Grand Prix. We have some rain for the race, so that's going to spice things up. Heading into this one, you can see the upgrade chart. Haas again making more upgrades versus the rest of the field. Mercedes again heading into this round have done nothing. Like, what are they playing at? They haven't upgraded since, like, what I can only tell would be Canada or maybe even France. So, what are they doing? They've just been doing absolutely nothing. They're being left behind in the dirt. And Hamilton is going to have a very uphill battle if he wants to hold on to the lead of the Drivers' Championship, which he has at the moment. So, heading into this race, again, we've upgraded the car. It's a little bit better through the corners. We did a major front downforce upgrade, so that should hopefully mean that we can run less downforce in terms of our setup this weekend, and that should overall help us. Practice 2, very competitive from Renault. That was really nice to see Ricciardo right up there, so hopefully we can carry that through to the Grand Prix. So I'm really excited for this one. Leave a like, subscribe, and check out any of the other Career Mode episodes if you haven't checked them out already. So, yeah, we got quite a few resource points, 565. We may do some reliability upgrades for future episodes, but we'll see how we get through this next period of 2 races, so Spa and Monza. If we're trucking along pretty well, I might focus on, the durability side, but if we're still behind the 8 ball, then we still obviously need to target performance. But here we are for qualifying. Unfortunately, my PC rebooted during Q1, so there was no footage to show you guys from that. But we progressed through to Q2 with provisional pole at the moment. Ricciardo again still looking pretty threatening there in P3, so that's nice to see. Devin Butler got knocked out in Q2. So too did Valtteri Bottas. Hamilton was quite lucky in the end there to make it through to Q3, so he'll at least make an appearance in this session. But now this is danger time really for the top teams, with the exception of Ferrari. Renault and Haas have arrived in this second half of the season, and it's now down to the established order to fight back and see if they have any response. But so far we're 6/10 up on our previous, not our previous best, but the best time set so far, which was previously done by one of the Red Bulls, I believe. But everyone is continuing to pump in some pretty fast times at the moment. We come across the line, and we do go on pole position for the 1 minute 41.2. Still a couple of minutes left to go in this session, so it's not all one and done just yet. We've got a Haas on the first row of the grid with us as well, Lucas Weber. It'll be interesting to see if he can pull out a magical time out of his ass like he did in Hungary, but we'll have to wait and see. Judging by the Haas's performance last race, maybe they've got a huge advantage in the way of the chassis or either the downforce, because at the moment it just doesn't look like they have the same dominance or the same advantage that they had like they did in the last race. We really do seem to be on top this race weekend, but of course, we've still got a bit of time left in qualifying. Haven't even got to the race yet, so I don't want to speak too early and end up with a massive bout of karma. But anyway, qualifying is complete. We're actually going to be the last person to cross the line. Everyone has actually finished their lap right now, so that does guarantee that we have pole position now for the Belgian Grand Prix. We've got a Haas 2 and 3, but I'm just looking to really solidify this pole position that we've got at the moment. We're up by 2/10 as we go through the middle sector split, and now we're just kind of flexing on the rest of the field now at this point. I did turn the difficulty down, or I did leave it down a little bit lower, like I did in the last race in Hungary. I think it was like 106 or 107. But maybe we might need to look at rectifying the difficulty heading into the race. We'll have to wait and see across the start-finish line for the final time, and that is pole position by 6/10. So it was a mighty fine lap that I put in Q3. Ricciardo, the best part of 8/10 away. So yes, probably a difficulty change is required.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Lucas was on fire in qualifying today.
Was he really? Timesheets say otherwise.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Claire, for again providing me with an amazing interview. I really appreciate that. But yeah, the reason why I was running at 106 is because last race in Hungary we were struggling for tyre temps really badly, and the previous race before that as well, Germany, we were having some tyre issues and some big Sector 3 issues, and so I thought this was going to be a trend of the AI, that it was just going to get somewhat harder and harder. But yeah, heading into the race, I have increased the difficulty to 108. However, I feel like I might be dreading that because heading into the race, it's going to be rain. And so I feel like in the rain, since the patch, the AI got stronger. So this will be a test.
Who doesn't love the Belgian Grand Prix? It's the race, of course, that gave maiden pole positions to the Jordan and Force India teams, with Rubens Barrichello and Giancarlo Fisichella respectively. Jordan, of course, would then go on to better that here in 1998 with their first ever victory. And you can guarantee that something special will always happen at Spa-Francorchamps. But what that something is today is anybody's guess. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. They haven't had any retirements in the last 5 races. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Day lines up on pole position with Lucas Weber alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hülkenberg, Leclerc, Sergio Perez, and Vettel, Gasly, Verstappen, Hamilton, and Devon Butler, Bottas, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, and Magnussen. Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty.
Okay, La Source is always pretty tight, but we've got a clear run. Remember the runoff if you need it.
Ricardo. Man, how many chances do you need? It gets to a point where, like, you're not unlucky anymore, and you're just maybe just a crap AI driver. But you've got this race to redeem yourself. 5 red lights, and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. I had absolutely no time to talk about the strategy. Basically, there is none. It's raining for the whole race, so let's see what we can manage in this race. Heading into turn 1, we maintain the lead ever so slightly over Lucas Weber. Side by side, we get better traction, and there we go. We establish the lead as we head up Eau Rouge for the first time. Hülkenberg getting himself back up into P3. I've actually missed the top of Radeon there. There was just absolutely no grip in the car, heavy fuel, and I've taken a corner cutting warning for that. So already in this race, we are 1 warning down, and Spa is actually really easy to get done for track extending warnings. So we'll need to be quite the good boy for the rest of this race now.
There's 21 laps of fuel remaining.
Asking about fuel. I was meant to ask about the weather, not the fuel, so that's a bit of a typo from me there. But Lucas Weber is up the inside into the middle sector. He's still side by side as we run through No Name now. I've understeered a bit wide, but it's effective, and we're through.
Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that one, Jeff. It didn't take a genius to figure out it was light rain conditions. But anyway, we press on with this race. Still the first lap of the Grand Prix. Lucas Weber looking very threatening in a straight line. Missed the apex a little bit of Blanchimont, but otherwise we actually extended the gap a little bit there. So that's handy to know that we might be faster at high speed. I don't know. It's hard to tell. The strengths and weaknesses are yet to be established between ourselves and the Haas. I really don't know where they're fast and where they're not, to be honest. It's hard to... It's like a... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. These Haas... If these Haases had a face, they'd be full on pulling a poker face. I literally cannot guess what they are. Yep, okay. Let's just leave it at that. Lap 2, the gap is still very, very close. We're extending the gap over the Ferraris ever so slightly. So it looks like it's going to be a 3-way horse fight. 3-way fight. For God's sake. 3-way fight for this race. My vocabulary has gone completely out the window for this one. I really apologize. Lucas on the attack once again on the Camel Straight. And with no DRS, life looks very difficult for Lucas to get past. Thankfully, our car is very fast once you get to the top end speed, like in 8th gear. Engine power is also pretty good at this stage, so we're looking after ourselves quite nicely here. We're running with low downforce.
Gap to teammate behind is 8.0 seconds. They're on old inters. They're in 12th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 58.3.
Okay, so he's made up some ground, which is nice, but he still continue. He needs to make a lot more progress than that. He needs to, you know, be supporting us in the constructors. But yeah, this car's very fast in a straight line. We won't have any problems when it comes to defending position today. And to, you know, complement the package of the car as well, we've gone with low downforce. I think 3.5 wings, maybe even 4.5. I can't exactly remember, but it is on the lower end of the spectrum. So straight line speed today is absolutely keeping us in front of the Haas's. Team radio.
15 minutes till we see this heavy rain ease up into light rain. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Still, nothing really going on with the weather. It's supposed to be heavy rain right now, but it looks far from it. So it looks like this is going to be a strictly intermediate style race. Maybe even a switch to dries, as it looks like the sky is somewhat clearing up up ahead of us. But we'll have to wait and play that out by ear. I think we will be making another stop onto intermediate tyres fairly soon. I think the recommended stop lap is lap 12 or 13 or something like that. We could even come in for the undercut, I'm not sure. But here comes Lucas again up the inside into the middle sector. He seems to be very strong through Les Combes and then the little S corner after that. And so puts us under a lot of pressure through the middle sector. Here he goes around the outside. He's done that off the circuit, but he's still there. Hulkenberg is trying to make advantage of this as well as we try and go back up the inside of our former F2 teammate into... I've forgotten the corner name. I never forget that corner name, but I've forgotten it. It was a nice battle nonetheless. Here we go, side by side. Could not make a single mistake here, otherwise I was going to lose the lead, and I was going to lose P2 to Nico Hulkenberg, but thankfully we managed to hold on. Alright, let's see if we can compose ourselves a little bit more. It's Puon. I ran wide at Puon. Alright, let's not forget that anymore. Bloody hell, I'm such a melt today, it seems. But anyway, top three, we're running away with this race. That we're just running at a pace that is much faster than what the rest of the field can really contest with. Ricardo is really buried in traffic at the moment, and unfortunately not able to show what the true pace of his car is. So, yeah, I don't know what to say at this point. It's Ricardo, he's got to take some of the blame here, and the team as well. They just make absolutely terrible decisions. Like, why in this race, when he's finally qualified at the front, do you decide to put him on new engine components and throw him to the back? I just don't understand. And meanwhile, we're running side by side with Weber. I had a bad run out of the Stavolo 1 and 2, and now it's side by side through Blanchimont. He's still there on the outside. Fair play to him as well, because he's now going to have the inside for the bus stop chicane. Oh, that was close. Still side by side, rubbing ever so slightly through the last corner, trying to squeeze on the power without getting too much wheel spin. And Weber is through for the lead of the race of the Belgian Grand Prix. Let's see if we can get a nice exit here into turn 1. He's going a bit defensive. Obviously, still trying to really make the overtake above anything else. But there we go. He is through. We're going to have slipstream as we go up to top of Radion and then on the Camel Straight once again. A nice run through there, which is nice. We're going to chuck it up into overtake, and we're going to completely undo all of the good work Lucas Weber has been trying to do for the last 10 laps of trying to get to the lead. He loses it straight away, and I've got to say, that's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world, to work so hard, to put on all the pressure, to only lose it straight away. That's got to be really annoying for him. So it's back to the drawing board, and back to the drawing board for one of the Williams there who got tangled up with Sebastian Vettel. So a bit of front wing lost there, no safety car, no VSC either, and so we're able to continue on with our race.
The heavy rain will pass in about 5 minutes. We'll then be working with light rain conditions. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Still, again, it looks like the wet weather tyre is not going to be used today. We're going to switch to intermediate tyres in only a matter of laps now, as Lucas, again, is looking pretty threatening. He's on the inside. Had to leave him a little bit of space through Blanchimont, and he decided to back out of it in the end, so that helps us. 60% tyre wear on the rear, so that's getting up there in terms of wear. I think we might have a couple of guys making stops now. Lucas is in, a Ferrari is in, Hulkenberg is in, and the second Ferrari is in as well, so both Haas and Ferrari are opting to double stack their cars. Why they've decided to do that, I don't know. They should have, to be honest, stopped maybe a lap earlier to get the undercut. But Ferrari screwing over Vettel, Haas screwing over Hulkenberg, and as such, this is only going to be a 2-horse race now for the victory of this Belgian Grand Prix, given how much time they lost in the pit stop phases. You can see the Ferrari and the Haas on the minimap there, but then there's absolute daylight back to Hulkenberg, who's in P4 right now. So, wow, they've really screwed over their teammates, and I think Vettel, more so than anyone else, has been buried the most. Like, he's right up there with my teammate, as you can see on the minimap. But it's pit stop time. This is a crucial phase of the Grand Prix.
Release.
Unfortunately, they kind of caught me napping. I thought that they were going to come in the same lap as me, but they undercutted me by 1 lap. And that was because Renault held me out an extra lap to give Daniel Ricciardo the undercut. And as such, we have lost the lead at the Belgian Grand Prix. It is down to P3 for us, all because they're favouring my teammate who's down in P... knows where. Renault, get it together, man. This is not the performance of a top running team. It's just not. Around the outside of Lucas Weber we go into Les Combes, and thankfully one of us is competent at this team, and we are through for P2. Charles Leclerc though, a few seconds up the road, we'll need to close in on him. You can see I'm weaving the wheel. I'm pretty happy with that move. 8 laps left to go in this race, and Renault have really put me under pressure here in order to win this race now. We need to close in the gap once again. I really wasn't sure if I was, the fastest guy in the field, to be honest, given that I was kind of bottling everyone up in the first stint. But now we're really going to see if we truly do belong at the front today. Going back to the pole position, I feel like I would have got the pole anyway if I was on 108 difficulty. But so far, it seems like 108 is the perfect difficulty we're running with at the moment, even in the rain. So I'm really impressed by my own pace in the wet. I didn't think we'd be able to hold on as well as what we are. Purple on that lap, so we are closing in ever so slightly on Charles Leclerc. And I do realize I've said ever so slightly many times this video. This is a throwback to probably like 2015, 2016, where I did that like every 5 seconds. So there you go. But the gap to Leclerc.
Leclerc ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 1.4 seconds. They're on old inters. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:54.4. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap.
1/10 a lap. That is such a tight margin to be gaining by. I'm literally driving the wheels off of this Renault. Only just making inroads on him. Like, I'm, stitching together some near-on perfect laps. Utilizing all the fuel, all the battery at my disposal. I'm not making any mistakes. And we're only just making slight inroads on this guy. So we need to get within 1 second. We're not going to get DRS. Lucas Weber is now improving his speed a little bit as well. Purple to the first sector on this lap. So that's more of what we need. But it looks like the track is starting to dry up a little bit. The rain isn't as heavy as what it was previously. And we'll see what kind of effect that has on my car and those around me. Kimi Räikkönen is out of the race as we head on to the final couple of laps of this race. The track is looking quite dry now. Bit of a dry line starting to form. The rain has actually stopped now. Well, it's very light now. But I feel like as the track is drying up, my tyre temps are building a little bit. And as such, I'm getting a bit more temperature and a bit more understeer in the car. Like, low speed I noticed at first, but now I'm starting to get it even at medium speed corners here. You can see Lucas all over the back of us now as we go through the middle sector and into Blanchimont. I ran wide there. That's my second warning of the race. So I went near on 20 laps. Oh my God, it's going to be side by side. Nearly. Oh my God, I'm losing the car everywhere as we go at the top of Radion. The tyres really are overheating now. It's getting to boiling point. We can pretty much throw away any chance of winning this Belgian Grand Prix because the pace has just gone completely out the window ever since the track conditions improved. So it's just a fight now to hold on to P2 on the last lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. We have the fuel, we do have the battery as well, but we don't have the tyre temps at the moment. Here comes Lucas again up the inside into Pouon. He's got the inside. Oh my God, he didn't go for it. Wow. Lucas playing the patient game here, and there's not much time left in this Belgian Grand Prix. He goes clean around the outside. He's just got so much more grip, so much more confidence and traction. He gives us a bit of a shove. Though, to be fair, I turned in, and he moves up into P2, though it's not over yet. Look at the understeer. It's mad. We've got the big boy run up to Blanchimont. We're going to have the slipstream. We have enough battery and fuel to have a real solid go at this, and maybe, just maybe, a dive bomb into the bus stop chicane. Look at the slipstream working wonders for us. Outside, inside, it's going to be the inside as we head into the last corner. No confidence. I couldn't outbrake him. Bit of contact as we try and do the under and over and get on the power as early as we can. It's not going to work out. Lucas gets P2 and we just fall short at the final hurdle.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Fair play. That was an absolutely enthralling race. When you look at, where we started, being pole position, we didn't go anywhere, relative to those cars immediately around us. The battle was so tightly contested. There was really not much to separate us. But when you take us three out of the fight and then look at where we finished relative to everyone else, we absolutely left everyone else behind. Like P5, 20 seconds behind. It's quite insane. Ricardo recovers to get P8, so that's a nice drive from him. Though, with the car that he's got, he should be doing more than that. I can't help but feel if I started P15, I would have recovered a lot better than that. I'm starting to get doubts about my teammate, to be honest. I feel like maybe Codemasters have done him dirty. Like, he's not the best AI in the world. He's no Lewis Hamilton, but, he should be in contention to do a lot better than what he has. His consistency sucks, and to partner that, Renault, your strategy team, sucks too. Work on it.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
Devon did much better in today's race than he did in qualifying.
Claire, you suck too. Go sign for Renault.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Right. That is the end of this episode, the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I thoroughly did. That was a titanic battle between us and Lucas Weber. At the end of the day, I still need to take some responsibility for the strategy. I had this lingering thought in the back of my mind. Like, I thought I should have, stopped a bit earlier, like maybe lap 11 to balance out the tyre wear over the course of both stints. Go for the undercut anyway, just to be safe. I left it a lap too long, and we lost the lead to Leclerc. That was ultimately the difference. If I would have stopped at the same time or even before Leclerc, probably would have won that race in hindsight, but it's the beauty of hindsight, isn't it? So we'll live and we'll learn for the next race. Crucially, we still gain points over Lewis Hamilton. We're only 30 points behind him in the standings, but Leclerc has jumped us to P2 and I think is about 5 points in front of us. So this is well and truly a three-way fight for the lead of the Drivers' Championship, with Sebastian Vettel not too far behind me as well, so there could be the potential for him and also Lucas Weber if his form and his team's form persists. Who knows how many cars will get into this fight. But that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. We're doing a tyre wear upgrade for the Singapore Grand Prix. No, we're doing a tyre wear upgrade for next race. And then for Singapore, major weight redistribution, because I'm trying to, shore up the weaknesses of this car. We're already going to be very fast at Monza. That's why I didn't go for the power upgrade there. I'm thinking about the overall package of this car, and a major weight redistribution upgrade will give us a better package over the duration of this championship, and I think that's what we need. But yeah, this is going to be a tight one. I hope that we come out on top in the end, but there's a lot of work to do both on and off the track. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.